We are only 9 days away from the completion of the ODI World Cup League stages in 2023. So far, only India has qualified as the first team in the semi-final. Now, there is a fight for 3 spots amongst 5 teams. Technically, you can say the likes of England, Sri Lanka and everybody are still in the race, but I'm sorry, mathematically they are not in contention at this point in time. 5 teams, if you look at it: Australia, New Zealand, you may say South Africa, Pakistan and Afghanistan. These are the 5 teams who are in the fray for 3 spots. Because remember, after the win that Afghanistan have had against the Netherlands, they have moved to 5th with 8 points, minus 0.3 net run rate. India qualified, South Africa 90% have qualified, Australia, New Zealand, they might be the 2 teams who can slip up, but Afghanistan and Pakistan, a lot has to go their way. So without wasting any further time, let us see what South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Afghanistan and Pakistan have to do if they have to get to the semi-final stage. Now remember, for Australia, South Africa, it's a bit more easier, but for New Zealand, Afghanistan and Pakistan, it's much more complicated. Because let's look at South Africa. They have 2 games, one against India on November 5, then against Afghanistan on November 10th. If South Africa win one, they are through. If they win both, then they are through. As if they win both, they are on top of the table then. Because they would have beaten India, they would have beaten Afghanistan, they can get to 16 points. India can get to 16, but the problem can only get to 16 at one point because their net run rate would have taken a hit then. So South Africa, if they beat India, if they beat Afghanistan, India beat the Netherlands, then it will be a tussle for 1 and 2. South Africa, with their better net run rate, if things stand at this point, they will be on top. So they just need to win one more. That's it. Then they will be the second team. If they beat India on 5th, they are through. Australia. Now remember, there is daylight between 12 and 8. If they win their game against England tomorrow, then they will take one step closer to reaching the semi-final. England are out. But if they lose tomorrow, then they have to win against Bangladesh and Afghanistan. If they lose all 3, Australia are out. If they lose to Bangladesh, if they lose to Afghanistan, if they lose to England, they are out. If they lose to England, they must win against Bangladesh and Afghanistan, because then that will assure them of 12 points and they will be through to the semi-finals. New Zealand. Now they are the team whose terminal slump has come at the worst possible time. They have 2 games remaining. Pakistan on November 4th, Sri Lanka on November 9th, both in Bengaluru. If New Zealand, they win against Pakistan tomorrow, they will be in pole position. If they win both games, they are all but through to the semi-finals. They are through though. If they lose both, they are eliminated. Because Afghanistan then will have to ensure, Pakistan then will have to get to 2 more wins so that they dump New Zealand out. If they win one versus Pakistan and lose to SL, must hope Pakistan lose to England. Because Pakistan would have beaten New Zealand, they would have gotten to 8. Then England must beat Pakistan. If match is rained out, they will still have a chance. Because technically with that odd number of points, a team can get through most of the time. So New Zealand, it's simple. If they lose both, they are all but eliminated. If they win one, lose one, they still have a chance. Provided Pakistan or Afghanistan don't get to that mark because of their better net run rate of 0.484. That has put them in very good stead indeed. Pakistan. Now tomorrow if they lose to New Zealand, they are all but eliminated because they will have to hope. If that happens, if they win one game, they must hope New Zealand or Australia do not win either of their games. But that's a tall task because Australia are facing Bangladesh and Afghanistan. If they win both, they must hope New Zealand win one game and Afghanistan lose both. That can very well happen. Pakistan looking good, have a good chance to ensure they get to the semi-finals in the Kudrat Ka Nizam way. That's providence for you. So if they win tomorrow and if they beat England, then New Zealand are all but eliminated. Because then Afghanistan will lose to Australia or and South Africa, they'll get eliminated. That's why Pakistan Their fortune, if they win tomorrow, they still stay in the semi-final hunt. Afghanistan. Now, must win all 3 games. They are 1-1 against the Netherlands. Now they are in 8th. If they lose 2 out of 3 games, eliminated. If they win 2 out of 3, they must hope New Zealand and Pakistan do not win more than 1 game. Sri Lanka must beat New Zealand, then in that case, Pakistan must lose to either New Zealand or England. So that way, even Afghanistan, they have to win against either Australia or South Africa to ensure they can still get to 10 or 12, and hopefully they make it to the semi-finals. But it is a straight fight between number 3 and number 4. Who's going to make it? Can Pakistan, Afghanistan upstage Australia and New Zealand, or will the Trans-Tasman force hold firm? That is the current situation. So tomorrow, the ultimate table churner. New Zealand, Pakistan, day game. England, Australia, the night game. We will get a clear picture of who is in the semi-finals after 4th November. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.